Gary is the consummate journalist.
Gary was always about the facts.
He's a good man.
I think he has a great passion for the game, a great passion for people, and he's incredibly perceptive.
I honestly don't know where we'd be without Gary covering the golf.
For parts of 5 decades, Gary Baines has built a reputation as the foremost chronicler of golf in Colorado, writing roughly 7,000 stories on what is his favorite of the numerous sports he has covered. Growing up in Littleton, he first became interested in the game by watching his father, Clyde, and then by caddying at Columbine Country Club.
And he played golf for quite a while, and then a bad back kind of kept him from playing for decades. And then he had that problem resolved, and then just went hammer and tongs after golf the rest of his life, like, 100 or more rounds a year. That just kind of opened my eyes as to, how people can be and just love the game and be addicted to it, basically. I probably started caddying at Columbine at 13, 14 years old. The Evans Scholarship I didn't even know about it at the time, but John Shield, who was the caddy master at Columbine, informed me about it. He was an Evans Scholar at the time, and 2 guys who are now in the Hall of Fame, Tony Nowitzki, the head professional, and Jack Summers, who was an assistant pro, both encouraged me to apply, and it was kind of a no-brainer, and it's kind of changed the course of my life, more or less.
While at CU, Gary enjoyed the college life while getting a degree in journalism and working as caddy master at Columbine in the summer. During that time, he got the loop of his life, caddying for Jack Nicklaus during an exhibition at Pinehurst Country Club.
That was kind of a dream come true for me when Tony Nowitzki, the head professional here, asked me if I wanted to do that, and I couldn't say yes quickly enough. He was, my favorite golfer, and so that was just fantastic to caddy for him at Columbine during that, at Pinehurst during that exhibition. And I can even forgive him for handing over 2 20s at the end of the day and saying, "Do you have $10 bill and change?" So I thought, Jack, if you're that hard up, I can go with a $10 bill. But it was a great experience.
After internships at the Littleton Independent and Boulder Daily Camera, Gary was hired as sports writer at the Camera, where he spent 25 years, the last 5 as sports editor. In 2008, he founded the Colorado Golf Journal, and a year later began a 13-year stint as the Army of One editorial and photography department for the Colorado Golf Association on coloradogolf.org. Over the years, he has covered 40 Colorado Opens, all 28 Colorado Women's Opens, and 23 Colorado Senior Opens, all 21 internationals, and countless events of state, national, and international significance.
The one thing I would say about golf is it seems to attract a lot of people of what I would call high character and a fair amount of general characters, which makes it good to write about.
Any big golf event in the state, Gary's there covering it. Any big tournament in the state, Gary's there covering it. So, and he just does a fantastic job, and it allows the golfers in the state of Colorado to stay abreast on what's happening in the Colorado golf community.
Oh, I can just think of so many times caddying for Kent or playing where I see Gary tromping through the fields. I don't think I've ever seen Gary in a golf cart in my life.
One story about Gary that really, I think, sums up his work ethic. Whenever you see Gary at a tournament, he's there to cover it, but then once it ends, the flag goes in the hole and it's over, he's there until the dark of night writing the story. And he's done many stories at Common Ground, and at Common Ground we have a gate that closes and locks. And I can't remember when it was, I think it might have been our Junior Ryder Cup. I get a call from Gary, and he's calling because he's locked in. He can't get out. That's Gary. He will write, he will put in the work it takes to do it up to his standards, which are very high. We've just been so fortunate in Colorado golf to have him.
The more important thing I've always thought was, in almost every story, or at least on a consistent basis, to give people something that they haven't read or can't read somewhere else. You've kind of dug deep into, it could be a obscure statistic. It could be something about the day where, you know, the person was interacting with someone or whatever, but just give them something they haven't seen, because to me, one of the faults of journalism in general is probably repetition. You can go to, you know, watch TV and flip your channels and you're seeing the same story over and over.
I've known him for over 30 years, and his attitude and his demeanor is always the same. I've never seen him, it's like almost like he's playing golf. I think the fact that he's probably hung out with golfers, too many golfers, because he's adopted their mentality where he's just even keel. He's never too excited and he's never down. So it's almost like he's making all pars out there.
That steady approach has vaulted Gary to the top of the leaderboard. During his career, he has won a half dozen Colorado Golf Journalism Awards from such organizations as the CGA, Colorado PGA, and the Colorado Open Golf Foundation, which, in 2019, presented him with its highest honor, the Robert Kirkner Award. It gives the Colorado Golf Hall of Fame great pleasure to welcome Gary Baines as the 5th media member and 3rd Evans Scholar enshrined in the Colorado Golf Hall of Fame.